This new 5,000-ton destroyer is one of North Korea's most advanced warships. Days later, it failed to launch, flipping on its side.
The blue tarp signifies that there's damage is that they don't want us to see.
But experts say the ship can be saved as North Korea's reclusive leader Kim Jong Un vows to modernize his navy. The question, can he succeed? Military analysts widely consider North Korea's navy to be technologically inferior to South Korea's navy. Here are the numbers, and keep in mind South Korea's fleet would be aided by U.S. forces in the event of a conflict. Look at the bar on the left. The bulk of North Korea's navy is made up of smaller patrol and coastal craft. But look at the submarine numbers. North Korea's subs are older and way less advanced, but experts say they could still pose a problem.
That submarine threat is higher than we expected because submarine forces history for the North Korean Navy is longer than South Korea. The quality is lower than our forces, but nonetheless, numbers is very important.
Now, things look pretty different here with surface combatants, which are ships such as frigates, cruisers, and destroyers, like the one that flipped. North Korea only has 3 of them. The damaged ship would be its 4th. April 2025 saw the christening of North Korea's first modern destroyer, the Chaehyun.
이 함정이 처음에 건조하는 모습 공개할 때 진술했던 껍데기만 있는 것이 아니냐고 평가를 했지만 적어도 가까운 신뢰에 상당한 실전 능력을 갖춘 그런 함정이 될 가능성이 높다고 봅니다.
Kim Jong Un has said publicly his goal is to be able to launch nuclear weapons from his modernized navy. But that still could be years away, and even these new North Korean vessels are outmatched by U.S. and South Korean capabilities.
So what he's trying to do is create a modern veneer. You can't ignore it, you have to take it into account, but he knows if he employs it in a big way, it'll be wiped off the map.
New satellite images show North Korea has deployed what appear to be balloons alongside its damaged 5,000-ton warship that has been laying on its side and partially submerged since a botched launch last week. While the purpose of the objects is unclear, experts told CNN they could be used to help get the ship back upright or protect it from the prying eyes of drones. The stricken destroyer was the country's newest warship and was meant to be a triumph of North Korea's ambitious naval modernization effort. Instead, a malfunction in the launch mechanism on May 21st caused the stern to slide prematurely into the water, crushing parts of the hull and leaving the bow stranded on the shipway, state media KCNA reported, in a rare admission of bad news. North Korean leader Kim Jong Un, who witnessed the failed launch in the northeastern city of Chongjin, called it a criminal act and ordered the country to swiftly repair the as-yet-unnamed ship before the late June plenary session of the ruling Workers' Party, calling it a matter of national honor. Officials have since scrambled to undo the damage and punish those they claim are responsible, detaining 4 people in recent days, including the shipyard's chief engineer. Analysts say it appears balloons are being used in North Korea's effort to swiftly repair the destroyer. It looks like what appear to be balloons have been installed not to refloat the ship, but to prevent the ship from further flooding, said Represher Yoo Yong-weon, a South Korean National Assembly lawmaker and military analyst. Retired United States Navy Sepetite Carl Schuster said if the objects are indeed balloons, they could have one of 2 purposes, either to prevent low to mid-level drone reconnaissance or to reduce the stress on the part of the ship still stranded on the pier. That is the area that is most likely to have been damaged, suffered the most severe damage, and remains under intense stress while the forward area remains out of the water, he said. Nick Childs, Senior Fellow for Naval Forces and Maritime Security at the International Institute for Strategic Studies, said North Korea could be in danger of further damaging the ship if it's using balloons to keep it afloat or raise it. It is highly likely that the ship is under quite a lot of stress anyway, and lifting from above could compound those stresses, he said. Normal procedure would be to get as much buoyancy as possible in the ship and then raise it from below, Childs said. According to satellite images shared by Maxar Technologies, more than a dozen white balloon-like objects have been deployed around the destroyer since May 23rd. Based on the object's shape and what appear to be tail fins, they could be smaller versions of what are known as aerostat aircraft, balloons with a slight resemblance to dirigibles, defense experts told CNN. Like blimps, dirigibles get buoyancy from a lifting gas that allows them to float in air or in water. The images don't appear to show any flotation bladders supporting the hull or the body of the ship, Schuster said, something the US might use in such a situation. He added that North Korea's maritime industry might not be advanced enough for such techniques. North Korean state media had previously reported that the damage was less severe than initially feared, and that there were no holes in the hull, though it was scratched along the side and some seawater had entered the stern. It estimated repairs could take about 10 days, though analysts are skeptical. Schuster had previously told CNN that repair work could take up to 6 months, depending on how far the hull damage extends, how much water entered the warship, and how much salt crust might have formed on metal surfaces such as joints. The ship's precarious position also makes the salvage operation unusually complex. Having it half in and half out of the water is basically the worst possible situation, said Decker Eveleth, an associate research analyst at CNA, a nonprofit specializing in defense research. He added that the operation would be simpler if the ship had fully capsized into the water or if it had fallen over entirely on land. But as it's half on land and half on water, if you try to pull the sunken half out, you're risking twisting and breaking the keel, Eveleth said, referring to the structural spine running along the ship's bottom. And if you do that, the whole ship is junk. Child said North Korea may have to cut the ship into pieces and then try to salvage what it can, because righting it from its current position is an extremely complex task. Very often the only way you clear the dock is to dismantle at least part of the ship to make the operation easier, write what you have left and tow it away, and make a decision on whether you rebuild it or scrap it, he said. Like and subscribe for more.
Thanks!